Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this very special video. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Joe the Horror Lewis, a former professional wrestler, an author, a podcast host, but what I'm probably most well known for is being a idiot on the internet, making me a viral video star before going viral was a thing, mostly for smashing things over my head. So I present to you my top 10 head smashing moments, kicking it off with number 10.
Go.
Video was posted in 2007 on YouTube, but I think the video's from like 2004 or 2005. It had to have been. It was the first light tube I ever broke over my head when I was working at Arby's. I said, "Why not try it?" Smashed over my head. It's horrible, horrible quality footage. The cameras back then were just awful. You could record for like 3 minutes maybe on cameras back then. I'm old. I ended up opening a 4-inch gash right down the top of my head. And I kept working. That's like the beginning of my 8-hour shift. So I stuck like paper towels on it. Need to put my hat back on. I'm running the register at Arby's. And one of the customers is like, "Dude, there's blood dripping out of your hat down your forehead." That was a fun night. Well, an interesting one at least.
The man in this world you should be most afraid of is the one who is already dead. The one who feels no pain.
Number 9 is a promo from 2007 from wrestling. That is actually my debut promo as the horror gimmick character that I did for so long and that was so popular, and thus is Joe the Horror Lewis. But that was the debut promo I did for it. I was so hyped up in that, and you could just hear it in my voice. And I was just ready to smash that light tube. And just, I was so fired up when I did. I just remember doing that. Being so pumped. It was a great promo. I thought it was like the greatest thing in the world back then. It definitely hasn't aged that well. I'd like to think I'm a hell of a lot better now, but that was a good memory, and it was a good break. Some special bonus commentary here. I'm not going to play this because I know about copyrights with the song and everything. Right here, I'm just getting smashed over the head with a baking pan at a party to show off, because that's what I did, because I was young, dumb, full of cocaine. Good Debo, trying his best. Me laughing at him because he lifts weights and he can't do any damage to my thick cranium. I was Tony Montana right there. Scarface. Diving off, nothing. Dropped my lighter, didn't drop my cigarette. And this girl, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Still smoking. I don't think my cigarette's lit, though. I'm pretty out of my mind at this point. And here comes that douchebag Randy. He was swinging for the fences. Look at that pan. Nothing. Nothing. Everybody was concerned. That pussy did nothing. Right here, I called D a bitch a couple times. I miss that South Pole shirt. I was styling back then. Oh, and I'm down. And there's the elbow. That looked really cool, but it was all fake. All fake. Didn't even feel it. Now, one girl's reaction behind me is priceless. Like, oh, snap. Number 8 is from 2007. This was filmed at a party I had that's my apartment back then. And I easily used to have like 100 people in there on the weekends for parties. And this was like a music video. There's no sound on it because I don't know if I'm going to get copyright infringement for the song playing. But they used to like to smash me over the head with stuff during the party. So I just go for it, hit me with a sheet tray. And they lined up one by one, bashing me in the head with that pan for like a half hour. As you can see, I keep drinking beer. Didn't drop my beer. Dropped my cigarette that one time, but I smoked a cigarette through it. I felt nothing. I was on so much cocaine. Cocaine is a hell of a drug. That's why I'm blinking so much in the video. It's not because of the head hits. I may have had some concussion, but it's mainly from the cocaine that's making me blink so much. I always blinked rapidly when I was doing it. And yeah, they just kept hitting me. it hurt like a bastard the next morning. And that last kid, I think his name was Randy, he got so pissed off that he couldn't hurt me, which I thought was hilarious. He's probably a crackhead now, but I'm doing this, so I guess I won out, you know. But yeah, I felt nothing. Cocaine's a hell of a drug. Number 7 is also from 2007. This is near the end of the year. 8 was at the beginning of the year, so you can see my apartment is now completely trashed. There's a ceiling tile missed. I think you're going to see that later on in this countdown too on how that happened. But like the blinds are gone because my pit bull jersey ate them all, which that's a true story. So they did a lot of cocaine, they did a lot of stupid stuff. 07 to 09, and that apartment took a lot of abuse. I put my head through a couple walls there too, but that's not on. I don't have any video footage of that. But just the whole hit the road jack. We didn't even plan that to be playing in the background. It just fit it perfectly. Obviously, it's fake. I didn't feel anything. I'm wearing a race car helmet. It broke the frying pan, but just the bump in the cell, and it was hilarious. It was a lot of fun. I don't know if I was on cocaine for that.
So we're going to spray 5 of these Shatterproof Ornaments. We're going to put the Shatterproof to the test here. Get rid of this damn hat. Here we go. Merry Christmas. Whew. Yeah, that shattered all right. Ooh. These hurt a lot more than I thought they were. Holy shit, I'm getting old. I kind of stopped on the second one because the first one hurt a lot more. Probably shouldn't have done it. Oh. I'm all glittery. That's going to go well on those cuts. Last one. Thank God. I gotta stop writing books. That shattered. See, there you go. Shatterproof my ass. I should sue them. But I bought it at the dollar store. I don't think I can get much from them.
Number 6 just happened in December as I was plugging my book around Christmas time, and those are Shatterproof Christmas ornaments, so they're plastic. I really thought I wasn't gonna feel anything, and I broke that first one, and it hurt. And you see the shock, and as I mentioned it, and that hurt. And then I got like glitter in the little cuts, and it was painful. It was better than I thought it was gonna be. For the break, I thought honestly I was gonna hit them and they weren't gonna break because they're just that hard, like wiffle ball plastic. I thought they were, but they were definitely shatterproof, and it's pretty sharp plastic. Number 5 is from a professional wrestling match for Portland Pro Wrestling, also in surprise 2007. I told you that was a crazy year, drug wise, and did a lot of stupid stuff in my head. This is also during Tosh.0 and era, so I was trying to, that was kind of my thing. But yeah, it was a wrestling match. I've never been hit with a stop sign. I never actually touched a real stop sign before that. And Johnny McNasty's like, hey, do you want to get hit with a stop sign? I was like, sure, why not? I'm thinking it looks like thin metal. I'm thinking it's like a sheet tray, no problem. Probably should have picked it up, felt it, whatever. By the way, this is a professional wrestling company. We were licensed by the state of Maine. The athletic commission was there. Some of the guys were probably backyarders, but again, I was young and I wanted to get in the ring all the time, so it didn't matter. Johnny McNasty was trained, by the way. And then he hit me with that stop sign, and my God, I thought I saw Jesus. I thought I was going to poop myself. I had no clue it was going to feel like that. That was, wow, yeah, it rung my bell hard. The setup for the stop sign, though, was hilarious when he's like, what does this say? And I'm like, stop. And he's like, that means stop. And he hits me. It was a great spot. Absolutely horrible feeling. If you're going to get hit with something, this is advice for you wrestlers out there, like, pick it up. test it out first before you agree to let another man swing it at your head.
I hurt myself today to see if I still bleed. The pain is all that's real. Your pain will eventually heal, but the horror will never leave you. Like the Black Plague, once I get in your blood, I don't leave till you no longer exist. All that will remain is what lies in the basement of the Terror Dome in a shallow grave. And then as off the darkness falls for you, my friend. But I guarantee you won't be lonely. Try not to scream.
And that was, I had this idea to punch myself in the head and make it look like I busted my head open. But, so I had the blade. I had to do the trick, the blade. I didn't have a razor blade. I've never bladed before. That's not something I did. So I broke a light bulb, like I just threw it on the floor, and picked up a shard of glass. And I wish I had it on tape, but I deleted this outtake. Because originally I thought, hey, let's just punch myself with, when I first punched myself, just stick myself. That way, you know, that would be the smartest idea. I always look like clean head. I punched myself, I started bleeding. And I get fired up when I do these promos. You gotta be in the moment. You have to be that guy. Like, I'm a character actor. So I drilled myself with that thing like a moron. And much like the Tosh.0 video, which you'll see later, blood shot out of my head the second I literally stabbed myself with a piece of glass. It shot up my head. I started freaking out. I was screaming, oh, bunch of cuss words, running around. I grabbed my SpongeBob SquarePants towel and started covering my eyes. I freaked out. But I had to get it done while I was still bleeding. After like 20 minutes of trying to stop the bleeding, enough to clean my head up so it looked like I wasn't already bleeding, which I did the best I could. You could still see I was bleeding. I just immediately started drilling myself in the head because I'm still fired up from the adrenaline of the blood and everything. It was a very good video. That was a great promo back then. Now I look at it and think that was garbage, but then that was good. To further prove it, and I'm gonna name drop right now, but Anthony Green, or August Gray is his name now in WWE. The first time I met him, he came up to me and told me that he remembered that video from 2008 on MySpace, and he remembered the show that he went to that promo was advertising. He was a little kid back then, and he remembered it. Didn't remember my opponent, but he remembered where it was. He remembered what I did in the video. It's just, you never know what you do and who it affects. I was blown away by that because he's already a huge star by the time I met him. And I was like honored to meet him, and he's remembering something he watched me as a kid. It was a really cool moment. He's a very respectful guy, so I'm extremely proud of him. You know, I know that he's not part of this, but I'm not going to tag him or anything like that. I was dropping that in there.
Today I'm going to prove that I have the world's hardest head by bashing myself in the head with this frying pan multiple times. See? World's hardest head.
Number 3. This was called World's Hardest Head with a question mark on YouTube. This was my follow-up to Tosh.0. This is also in 2012. And this landed on Free Beer and Hot Wings, where I smashed myself in the head with a $5 Walmart frying pan. And I'm going to tell you the real story on that. It was fake. It stung a little bit, but it's cheap aluminum. I broke the frying pan. It cost $5 at Walmart. If you could look closely, you could see as I start to knock myself out on the way down, I look at the ground to see where I'm landing because I have couch cushions on my floor so I can take a nice face bump on it and not hurt myself, and then do the sell job that I knocked myself out. I did pretty well because Free Beer and Hot Wings talked about this for around 2 hours on a combined 3 days in a row on their show when they first saw it. So people were calling in. Some guy had to pull over to the side of the road and threw up because of the sound of the frying pan off my head. They did mashups with Don't Fear the Reaper and all kinds of songs that had cowbells in it. There was memes made of me asking for more cowbell and everything. The funny thing is I used to come out to Don't Fear the Reaper as my entrance music, and that was long before this ever happened. Which it does sound just like the cowbell. It's hilarious. And it got a lot of traction. I made some money off it, so that was always good. But yeah, it was fake. It was a sell job. I convinced millions of people that I knocked myself out with a $5 frying pan. I am still actually a sound effect on Free Beer and Hot Wings. When somebody does something stupid, they'll play the sound of the pan hitting my head. So that's gonna last. That's probably gonna be one of my lasting impressions left on this world.
Special edition of product testing with the horror. We are live on a remote destination. I can't tell you where the fuck we are for legal reasons. I'm going to test out this HP computer monitor. I ain't doing that again.
Number 2 is from 2018. I am out back at Applebee's on a smoke break, and we had one of the computer monitors where the orders come up on that was broken, and they told me to go ahead and smash it however I wanted to. So I tried to break it over my head. My dumb ass was thinking like, a laptop screen or a touch screen of any kind, a flat screen TV, it's going to break easy. Now, this was a legitimate computer monitor that even after slamming it on the ground like 8 times, still didn't break. And I hit myself as hard as I could with that thing. And you see me stop and shout, yeah, it hurt in my head. But why you see me do like this is I almost bit my tongue off. I legitimately thought I bit my tongue off. And my mouth was filling with blood. To make it worse, later that night, I go inside, I just want to clean the flat top and go home. My tongue is still bleeding a little, my head hurts. So I'm cleaning as quickly as I can. I am splashing grease all over the side of my face. I looked like Freddy Krueger. Maybe I'll have a picture of that at the end of this countdown so you can see that too. That was a bad night. It really was. A lot of poor decisions.
I'm going to attempt for the fastest time of breaking 5 75-watt light bulbs over my head. Sorry, Mom. Fuck.
Of course, the number 1 video is the world's record fail. And that's me smashing the light bulbs over my head and becoming the blood unicorn by shooting blood out of my head. That's literally what they called me online. I was also known as Panhead from Free Beer and Hot Wings, by the way, but the blood unicorn was my other nickname that I had. And that was not planned. I legitimately was trying to do a Guinness World Record. I had the book at home. I was like, well, I want to do a record, so there's no light bulb smashed over your head, so let's break 5 75-watt light bulbs over my head. The watt thing didn't matter. I don't know how you said that. And the people don't realize I'd never broken that many light bulbs over my head in a row. So I took a couple shots of SoCo, Southern Comfort's what I drank back then, for some liquid courage. I also had a headache that day, so I took some ibuprofen. I took 2 blood thinners before I did this, like a moron. And it just happened, the shard. The only time breaking one did that. I did do it when I stabbed myself literally with a shard, but it broke and stabbed me in the head instead of shattering. And the blood just shot out of my head. And I go for the second light bulb. And that one hurt more. Because people don't understand this. The light bulb breaking, that's what you want. That's the impact going out. So only other than getting stabbed, you don't feel the impact. When it doesn't break, it feels like you just hit yourself in the head with a baseball. So that hurt more. And it was odd. And then I looked down and saw the blood, and that's when I panicked. I was like, okay, what just happened? I didn't know the blood shot out of my head until after I watched the video. And then I got on Tosh.0, which got me a lot of ad revenue on YouTube before they shut me down. Tosh.0 didn't give me anything. That I didn't get a cent from them. But then 7 years later, it gets picked up by Ridiculousness, and I got paid for that, so that was good. It's a gift that keeps on giving. I could never replicate that again in a million years. And the Blood Unicorn was very popular and went viral quickly. I was actually in Poland on their version of YouTube. It was like the #1 watched video for like 2 weeks. Yeah, I'm also like, it was very popular on S&M websites in Germany. That's a true story. I don't know why. It's pretty sick. But yeah, I was big in Europe for a while. Still an idiot over here, though. And there you go. That's my top 10. I got plenty more out there. I don't, that weren't as good, but I've broken a lot of stuff on my head. And thanks for going down memory lane with me. It was fun. Some of these videos I haven't watched in like 10 years. And I'll probably never watch again. I hate watching myself. I'll watch everything once for editing purposes, and I don't watch it. I watched myself once on Ridiculousness and Tosh.0, and I don't like looking at me. I don't know why people do, other than when I'm making an ass out of myself. Remember to like, subscribe, follow, and share here on YouTube if you want to see me do more stupid things. I'm still young. There's plenty of reality shows out there to get myself on. You know I'm going to hit myself with stuff again. I'm addicted to it. Listen to my podcast, Cheeseburgers and Marijuana. Available on Anchor.fm, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts to. Buy either one or both of my books, preferably both of them, so I can make money from marijuana and stuff to break over my head. You get Cheeseburgers and Marijuana, the original, and now Grape Soda Monthly, my new one. Both available on Amazon.com. Grape Soda Monthly is available on the Kindle as well, if that's what you want. Thanks for watching and supporting me over these years for being an idiot.